Allow your knowingness, your God consciousness to awaken you into reality. November 3, 2016. Here in the non-physical realms, we watch over you with joy as humanity's awakening process continues to unfold precisely as divinely planned. Remember, all of you participated in that planning. How could you not, being as you eternally are, one with Source? As we keep on reminding you, there is only one. You are one. Embodied as humans, that most definitely does not appear to be the case. But, as humans, you are effectively one, dreaming many different scenarios. Even if it appears that you are sharing a scenario, a dream experience, with others, each individual human experiences it in their own and utterly unique way. As only you can experience your experience, and because you cannot experience another's experience, those experiences reinforce the sense of separateness that remains the purpose of the environment you collectively constructed. You are all eternally alive and well within God's eternal state of oneness, and are always able to experience individuality in the same way that we, here in the spiritual realms, which are, of course, right here with you now, do, when we talk to you from an identity such as Jesus or Soul, or the Divine Mother. Individual identities are useful states from which to offer meaningful and creative ideas from the limitless potential that is Source, love, all that exists. Oneness and individuality coexist, and for humans that seems like an incomprehensible paradox. Don't try to understand it, just accept it, and in that allowing, you will find joy and peace as opposed to the confusion your mind experiences when it tries to understand. Remember, the human mind is, by design and intent, severely limited. Trust your intuition, the aspect of yourselves that is able very easily to bypass the state of human limitation, and allow it to guide you. Basically, it is your connection to the non-physical realms, reality. It is your higher self, the real you, the Holy Spirit, God, talking to you in terms or expressions that make sense and are valid for you in your presently limited state of consciousness. As we often tell you, and then remind you yet again, you are never alone. To be alone is impossible. To be alone would be to be separate, a state of unbeingness that cannot exist because there is only one. To awaken from the dream is your purpose. You chose to experience separation in an unreal environment, a place that you invented to play in, and you quickly became lost and forgot that it was unreal. It is a little like when small children invent imaginary playmates or monsters and become so caught up playing with them in their unreal dramas that they lose contact with their human environment. Adults often tell them to stop daydreaming and come to lunch. Then they wake up because there's ice cream for dessert. When humanity wakes up, the dessert will be far more wondrous than ice cream. You are in the process of awakening, and that process can be neither terminated nor brought to a halt. Humanity has collectively chosen to awaken, and this age is the one in which awakening will manifest. Your task, as ones who know that it is to happen, is just to hold the intent for it, and also hold the intent to be only loving, whatever situations arise, because that is what is bringing your awakening into blossom. You chose, eons ago, to experience separation, and so you entered that unreal environment. To continue with the analogy of small children, you are now being called to lunch. And what a lunch it will be. So, relax. Allow your knowingness, your God consciousness to awaken you into reality. That is all that you need do, allow. The oneness that is God, that is Source, that is you, has chosen to awaken. The human collective, all who have ever had human lives, and all those presently incarnate, has made the collective decision to awaken. That choice, that decision was never in doubt, because it was made in the instant that you fell asleep in the illusion, and constructed it in all its details, one of which is time. It seems that eons have passed since the Big Bang, the moment when the universe of which you are humanly aware came into being, but truly it was but a very short moment ago. When you awaken, that will be instantly apparent as you realize that you never left your divine home at one with God. Time is a scourge when you are suffering or in pain, as it seems endless, and it is also a scourge when you are in joy because it seems to last but a moment. What an insane environment you constructed to experience the impossible, separation from your divine source, and how much you have suffered as you chose to believe that it was real, and that it contained and limited you. But the choice to believe it is real need not be maintained, you can change your mind anytime you choose. However, within your human forms, that belief in the reality of the physical world in which you live embodied is very firmly ingrained. The awakening process is a growing realization that what you see, sense, feel, and generally experience as humans is but an infinitesimal aspect of the creative potential that the limited minds in which you have encased yourselves over the eons are capable. Yes, your severely limited human minds have enormous creative potential. However, you have chosen to hide that potential from yourselves behind fiercely limiting beliefs. Let go of those beliefs. They are like fine veils blowing gently in the breeze that hide reality from you, although allowing brief glimpses when the wind gusts. Those gusts have ensured that you have never been completely enshrouded in the unawareness that your human bodies impose. You are far, far more than your human bodies, and these glimpses beyond the limitations that they occasionally appear to permit are divine wake-up calls. In truth, you can simply blow those veils away and awaken, but, because you have become so accustomed to the limitations that they impose, it frightens you to think that there is far, far more to reality than you have been aware of, more that you could have engaged with and enjoyed. You feel undeserving, perhaps even ashamed in your unawareness, your ignorance. So the mindset was developed that suggested that to look beyond the veil, to attempt to view and experience the wonders beyond it was sinful, that to do so would make God angry and cause him to judge you unworthy, and even condemn you to eternal suffering in hell. In your fear, you needed an even greater fear to keep you enclosed, to maintain a state of fearfulness that would most strongly discourage any desire to look beyond the limits that were restricting you from knowing God, the divine source from which you had never, and could never be separated. That desire to know God was always with you, it was an indication of your true nature, a reminder that there is a divine reality, heaven, of which each of you are essential and inseparable aspects. But you, in your fearfulness, convince yourselves that it was an unworthy desire, and that to attempt to satisfy it was sinful. God's will for you is eternal and uninterrupted bliss, but because of the intensity of the unreal reality that you had managed to build for the purpose of experiencing separation, you then convince yourselves that either God, your source, was unreal, or that you were utterly and completely unworthy of attempting to approach him, let alone imagine being one with him. Now, those windy gusts are getting stronger, and more of you are getting glimpses of reality and talking to one another about them, instead of fearfully denying those glimpses in the belief that you were either becoming insane, or were sinning by experiencing them. The illusion is insane. You are not. That is why you are waking up. To remain asleep is what is insane, and none of you are insane. How could you, as the divine beings that you are, be insane? To think or imagine that is what is insane. As you have grown in awareness of the truth that there is only God, reality, you have become increasingly aware of the insanity of the environment in which you have spent so many human lifetimes, and that awareness helps you to view those still deeply asleep with compassion and love. That realization makes it much easier for you to let go of all judgment, because you now know that all is indeed well, that there is nothing to fear, and that you are all waking up. What could be more uplifting or inspiring than knowing that? Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman2.wordpress.com